Hey YouTube, BetoT here, bringing you another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle versus MsPokefan001. This is just a funsy battle, so I hope you all enjoy it. As you can see, I'm actually going to try out a Hail team I've just created against her, and I'm going to lead off with my Suicune. She's going to send out her Arcanine, which is probably going to switch out, but I still go for the safe Hydro Pump. She brings in her Shiftray, who takes that like nobody's business. I can't do anything with that Shiftray, so I just switch out and go to my Abomasnow. Bombsnow brings up the Hail, which was supposed to be Suicune's job most of the time, but I couldn't risk it with a Giga Drain coming at my face. So, Bombsnow goes in there, threatens out the Shiftray. Sorry about that, guys. And I know she's gonna send in the Fire Fang, also known as Arcanine, so I just go for an Earthquake. So it was good prediction on my part, and it brings the Arcanine to half-ish life. I don't want to get hit with a Fire Fang or any fire move of the sort, so I'm thinking about a switch out. He goes into a Bravery on my double switch, and I'm just going to go into my Walrein. This is a super defensive Walrein, which I really have yet to use because people go into things like this Snorlax. So, not knowing what ability it has, I'm just going to go for the Toxic, because that's the Walrein's job, Toxic, and just stall the crap out of the rest of the team. But he does, in fact, have immunity. And that's very sad for me, because I just get a Thunderbolt to the face. Not wanting to do that, and not really being able to do anything to it, because my moveset is Toxic, Protect, Substitute, and Dive, I'm just going to switch out. I decide to go into Raikou. This is an event Raikou, so he's special to me, and he can do some pretty interesting damage. He uses Thunderbolt again, it gets a critical hit. Didn't really do much, so I didn't really care. I'm pretty sure I go for the Aura Sphere here. Nope, she switches out, goes into Excadrill, and yeah, I do go for the Aura Sphere. This is nice because it's nice super effective damage on that Excadrill, because he could have been a pain. Brings him down to probably quarter life-ish range. So I'm just like, hoping I'm going to be faster, so I'm going to go for another Aura Sphere. The Aura Sphere hits him, I am faster, KOs the Excadrill. Made my day. Well, not really, but... He goes into Shiftray, and I use Weather Ball. And Weather Ball, of course, for all you who don't know, is ice when it's hailing. So, I kill the Shiftray in one shot. So I'm in the lead, and he's going to send out his Arcanine. I'm just going to leave in Raikou for Death Fodder as he goes for the Extreme Speed. I get taken out. Felt no real shame in that. Raikou did his job, took out 2 Pokemon. I go into Walrein. And he goes for the Will-O-Wisp. So that just makes my day. He gets some nice residual damage on my Walrein. I go for the Toxic, hoping for the switch. Don't know really why I hope for that, because Arcanine can do some serious damage now that it's got close combat and the electric move, which I can't think of the name of. Wild Charge, there we go. And so I just kind of stay in, get Ice Body leftovers, get taken away with the burn, get some hail damage on it, and this continues until the thing actually dies. And the thing actually does indeed have Fire Fang, which is kind of funny. So I go for a Substitute. He gets buffeted by the hail, and he's down. So it's still my lead. Pretty interesting match so far. And I know he's going to bring in that Nightmare, because the thing is a nightmare to fight. So I have no choice but to switch out, and I go into Abomasnow. He goes for Amnesia, which is a pretty interesting move. Raises special defense. I don't really care, because my Abomasnow is physical. Knowing I can't take it out with one shot, I go for a Sword Stance. But she actually goes into a Bravery. So I do, in fact, go for my Sword Stance. And I use my priority Ice Shard, because I know that Bravery's a bird, and of course, it's going to be faster than a giant pile of snow. But I go for the Ice Shard, and this just kind of irritated me. Couldn't kill a Bravery with +2 Ice Shard. Wow, Abomasnow, you suck. And he gets taken out by the Brave Bird, which was a good play on her part. and the hail takes out the bravery. So, Bomb Snow, not very happy with you right now. You can be boxed forever. She brings in her fatty fish, and I go into my Kyrene. I just decide to go Dragon Pulse, see how much damage I can do to it, and I do maybe a quarter. And the thing goes for a heavy slam. I'm like, okay. I forgot that move even existed because I don't see it that much. And he goes for Protect. I'm like, oh my god. Really? So Dragon Pulse just misses. And I go for a second Dragon Pulse. This one finally hits. And I bring down the Fatty Fish, also known as Waylord, to a nice life where I can just take it out with a third one. And good thing I missed the Toxic. That could have been irritating. Because that could have cost me the match. Which I kind of just... Spoiler alert. Sorry about that, but... Should have told you that before. So she brings in Nightmare. I'm like, okay, let's see how much a Dragon Pulse will do. Because I'm still locked into Dragon Pulse because I am a Scarfed Kyrene. And it doesn't do all that much. So I go into Suicune, not knowing what really to expect. And he goes for the first... She goes for the first Amnesia. And I'm like, great. Half my team... or the remaining of my team, I should really say, are all special attackers. So, Suicune comes in, or I did a wild turn. Predicting a Thunderbolt, I'm just going to set up the Aqua Ring, gets a little bit of health so I can start trying to do some work, but I get the Paralyze. And that wreaks havoc on Suicune and makes me a little sad, for lack of a better word. And sorry about the movement of the camera. I accidentally thought I paused it, and turns out I accidentally didn't. So what you miss, though, is me getting Thunderbolted and a critical hit, and I get a Hydro Pump off, and it does nothing. Granted, Suicune has no attacking EVs whatsoever. He's all defense. But I still kind of hope for a little bit more. I'm a Suicune, for God's sake. But I'm just going to gain back some life, and then I'm going to get T-bolted to the face. I surprisingly live this, but I get the Para Hack, so it doesn't really matter. So, Hail's going to bring me down to a number, which I can't see right now. But, regardless, I'm still alive. And the thing's just going to go for a Psychic to take me out. That's, or not. Hail ends up taking me out, and now I'm down Suicune. I go into Kyrene, and this is where I make a serious misplay. Because I'm like, oh, let's use Blizzard, because it's 100% effective, and it's stab and all that. And then I'm like, oh, I have Focus Blast. Why didn't I use that? I'm an idiot. So that cost me turn, and on that switch, sets up the Amnesia, which makes the Snorlax, oh god. Because I probably could 2-hit KO'd it before that second Amnesia. So I just bring in Walrein, so I could get the Kyrene back in to use, not Thunderbolt. I don't have Thunderbolt, can't have Thunderbolt, but the Snorlax does, to use Focus Blast. So Kyrene comes back in, and he's going to use Thunderbolt. I was like, ooh, but it's okay. I resisted, I took it, I'm good. Kyrene survived. So I'm just going to go for the Focus Blast. I know its its accuracy is a little low, but I end up hitting, and it does nothing. Yay. Thank you, Kyrene, for that. She's going to go for the Psychic, and it doesn't really do much either. I'm going to restore some health leftovers, and then I'm going to Focus Blast again, so 2 hits in a row. Pretty lovely. I bring it down into the red, and it's going to hit me with Psychic again. That takes me out. And it's 2-1 right now, my lead. I'm going to go out into my Frostlass. I'm going to go for the Ice Beam, and I get the Freeze. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I'm not really sure if the Freeze mattered all too much, but I knew I'd live. I got a Focus Sash. So I at least knew I'd get 2 Ice Beams off, and that's all I really needed. Because the Hail ends up doing the rest of my work, and I take her out. So good game. comment, rate, subscribe. Go subscribe to her. Her link